Ms. Rubens, I'm not sure I understand that answer. You said you didn't know who they were, and yet their names are on the top.
Sir, the acting director at the time was familiar with the employees and wrote down their names to make sure that if they were in the office that day and wanted to be addressed by the committee staff, that they may be made available.
You head the Philadelphia office. You've heard testimony that there are 96 white boxes of essential return mail and 8 small cabinets of military mail, some of which were holding claims that had been existing for as much as 3 years. Were there, in fact, 96 white boxes and 8 small cabinets with that kind of mail?
Sir, I was just appointed to the director's position in Philadelphia. My understanding from the report is when that was initially raised, the undersecretary asked the Pension and Fiduciary Service director to send a staff up there. And I would need to review the final report to identify.
This was raised in February of 2012.
Yes, sir.
It's now 2014.
Yes, sir. And there is a report, and I apologize.
Where are those boxes? What happened to those boxes?
My understanding is that those were boxes of mail that needed to be scanned into the system, that those claims had been processed. And I believe that was the finding from the Pension and Fiduciary Service.
That is not what was explained. What it said was they were important pieces of mail, potentially. Do you know how many there were?
No, sir, I don't.
So there were 26 boxes, and you have no idea how many claims could have been associated with those boxes?
My understanding of those mail in those boxes was that those claims had already been worked.
Well, that's not the testimony. The testimony was that they were claims that had not been sufficiently identified, and therefore they were incomplete, and as a result of their incompleteness, those veterans who had made those claims were not being communicated with, some of whom were not being communicated with for months and even years with respect to the claims that they were making.
I will be happy upon arrival at the regional office to investigate further and ensure that the full answer is provided.
What happened to those 96 boxes of documents? We have heard testimony that they may have been shredded.
Sir, my understanding is that those were boxes of mail that needed to be scanned into our virtual VA system, that the regional office has continued to make progress in that regard to ensure those documents on claims that have been completed are also part of the electronic virtual VA system.
General, do you know more about this?
Congressman, I believe the number, if I'm recollecting correctly, and I'll ask the IG to correct me to 100% if I'm wrong, is 68 boxes, and I believe it was documents that were in paper that
they used. It's 96. This is the document. 96.
We think it's a different number that Kristen Rule has identified in our review.
So is there a different set of boxes? So there's triage A. Is there triage B?
When we went into the Philadelphia VBA, we identified 68 mail bins full of claims and associated.
Are they different than the 96 other mail bins?
I can't answer that.
So we might have over 150 mail bins of unresponsive, on which we don't know how many hundreds of potentially thousands of pieces of veterans' correspondence could be included within them.
So, Congressman, the mail has been used to do the claim already. The claim has been completed.
No, General, it has not been completed. The testimony we received is that that document was not able to be appropriately, was either return mail or other kinds of correspondence in which identifiers required further follow-up to be able to identify. Am I missing something?
Congressman, I will take and go deeply into this and come back to you personally and meet with you and bring whomever I need to explain it so that it can meet your needs and your understanding, so we ensure that you are well informed.
And I need to know how many there were, how many bins, and how many of these, if I'm hearing testimony, that there could be as many as 150 separate bins. This is not ambiguous. This is clear.
I'll look into it and get back to you and make sure that we bring people capable of explaining to you what work is done. In fact, I would invite if you have the opportunity, I know you're very busy, I would invite you to actually come up to the regional office where we do this work.
General, I will
Show
be
you
there.
how
I
to
have
do
been in
that.
Horsham, and I have been in the Philadelphia hospital as well. We didn't expect that we were having these troubles on this side of the aisle as well, too, with benefits, and I will be there.
That's great. I will make those arrangements.
Thank you, General.
Mr. Meehan, it's my understanding that Ms. Rule talked about the 92 boxes some 2 years ago, and the 68 boxes that we're talking about are boxes that were currently discovered.